Hello everybody, happy Friday. I hope we are all doing very well and enjoying this beautiful weather outside. I don't know about anyone else, but I feel like the hot weather and the sun just lifts my mood. Not only is it like good getting the vitamin D on your body, but just like hearing the birds sing and waking up and it's nice and light and just yeah, it's just the best. But back for another workout. This is going to be another full body workout. There is going to be quite a lot of focus on our legs and our glutes, just because that's the area of my body that I like to train the most. And I haven't really had any time to get on a reformer myself, just because I've been busy with teaching and yeah, just life generally. So I hope you enjoy this one and I will see you again very soon. Okay guys, we are going to start our warm up and we are going to come on to one blue for this. So I appreciate everyone's reformers are different. So yeah, if you don't have a blue spring, it would be one medium spring. I'm using one blue on the top row of notches, but yeah, whatever works for you in your reformer. We're actually going to start standing to the side of our reformer and we're just coming into this lunge position. Hands are coming to the hips and we're just going to start by doing some nice cat-cows. So let's arch through that spine and then exhale as we round, bringing the head in towards the chest, thinking about tucking those tummy muscles in. Inhale and then we arch through that spine and then the head can come back, but don't fling it back. Just think of that head as an extension of the spine. So we curl the spine back and then that head rolls back. And then let's do one more. Great. And then we're going to come onto the reformer now. So that right foot is going to come up against the side of the carriage, just in line with the hinge on the foot bar. And then, the left foot comes up against the shoulder rest. And we're keeping the hands to the hips. We're just going to continue on with those cat-cows now, but you're also adding in a bit of legs. So we're pushing back on that left foot that's against the foot bar. And yeah, just stretching out our legs a little bit here as well. Bit of a bend in the knee as we push back on that left leg. And then straighten everything up as you round. Let's do two more like this. And last one. Exhale, we come all the way back into that stopper. Now you can bring your hands to the foot bar to give you a little bit of extra support here. And really think about sitting up nice and tall, drawing those shoulders away from the ears. And then that left knee is going to lift up off the carriage. And then again, we're going to move into those cat-cows, but just adding that lift through that left knee that's on the carriage. Just gives you a bit more work. So you'll start to feel it now a bit more through those front thighs and through the glutes as well, particularly on that standing leg. And we're really thinking about pushing the weight through that standing leg and just making sure that we're getting that nice work through our glutes. We're going to hold it out here, static hold, keeping that right knee bent for 6 and 5 and 4. Last 3 and 2. Last 1, good. Then we draw all the way into that stopper, come out of it. Now we're going to push back and add in a skater on that left leg. So we come into that lunge, making sure that that right knee is nice and bent. And then we bring that left knee slightly in beneath us and we push back. 4. Let's go for 8 of these. 5 and 6. 2 more, guys. Oh, you should really feel it in that right glute. And then coming out of it. Now, if you want to, you can add on some arms. So we're going to do the skating single leg. And then the hands are going to come up beneath you, in front of you, sorry. And they come in towards the ribs in the same movement pattern as that left foot that's up against the carriage. Oh, 2 more, guys. And then draw it all the way in, stepping off that carriage. Give that glute a bit of a tap for me. And then let's repeat that work the other side. So we start standing by the side of the carriage, coming into that lunge, and just start by taking some standing cat-cows for me. So moving into extension and then flexion through the spine. 2 more. And last one, good. And now bringing those hands to the foot bar, coming to shoulder width distance. The right leg comes up against that shoulder block for me now. We find a bend in that left front knee. And we just continue on with those cat-cow stretches. But adding that push back from the left foot that's against the shoulder rest. Nice bend in that front knee as the right foot pushes back. And then coming out of it. Good. 2 more. And last one. And then draw it all the way in. Now let's add in that lift. So the right knee just hovers up off the carriage now. And then same thing. Inhale and exhale. Starting to work a bit more through our thighs. And that glute on the left hand side. Really thinking about actively pushing into that left foot for me. So putting all the way into that foot on the left side. And then trying to get that front knee over that second toe for me. Let's hold it out this time in that static hold for 6 and 5. Last 4 and 3. Good. 2 more and 1. Draw it all the way back in. Moving into those skaters. So just take an inhale, prepare yourself. Exhale, push back and hold. And then let's add in that skating single leg. And 6 more. 5, good. 4, last 3. And 2, last 1. Draw it all the way in. Now our arms are coming into it. If you want to add in this last little layer, hands come to the hips to begin. Inhale. Exhale, we push back. Skate as those arms come in. Keeping the hands nice and narrow. Keeping that bend in the front knee. Keeping the weight pushed into the left foot. 4 more, guys. Good. Last 3. And last 2. And last 1. Now we are going to do a bit of work through our arms. So we're going to come lying onto the carriage and the hands come to the platform. And I want you to cross over the feet at the back and then you're coming onto your knees. Try and get up nice and close against those shoulder rests. And then the hands come to quite wide, so just nearly out to the edges of the platform. And yeah, we're going to have our wrists directly in line with our shoulders, drawing in through our core here. Think about tucking in our tailbone, taking an inhale to prepare. And then as you exhale, we're going to bend the elbows out wide. And then your nose is going to lower down towards that foot plate. Hold it there. And then exhale as we push up. Sorry, inhale to push up. Exhale, bending out those elbows, coming down over that foot plate, getting nice and low, and then lift it back up. Nice, slow and controlled movement. Trying to hover the head just about an inch off that platform. And then drawing it all the way back up. Let's do 4 more like this. Really holding nice and strong through that core. And let's do last 2. Using your breath to get you up and down. Hold it here. We're going to come into a static hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then lift it all the way back up. And then just coming back into this puppy pose. Just take a little breath here. And exhale. And then coming back up into that kneeling position. Now we're going to bring the hands narrow. So hands in line with the shoulder. We're going to do some work through our triceps now. So still thinking about staying nice and lifted through that core, lifting our pelvis up. So tucking in that tailbone, taking an inhale. And then as you exhale, we're just going to bend the elbows in, keep them nice and narrow. The carriage will push away a little bit. And then exhale. As we come down, inhale to lift. And 3. We're going to do 3 more and then we're going to hold it. Last 2, guys. And last 1. Hold it down here for me for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it up. And then let's stretch it back. Taking a breath, inhale. And exhale. And then when you're ready, coming back to that same start position, we're going to come wide on the platform with those hands again. And now we're going to pulse it. So we inhale, exhale, elbows come out wide, up over that foot bar and little pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then stretch it back. Good. We've just got the pulses on those triceps. So just prepare yourself. Coming nice and narrow, taking an inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows in nice and close to the body, hover, and then pulse for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last 1. We are going to do some work through our legs now. So we're going to move into standing side splits. So I'm going to do this on 1 heavy spring on the top row of notches. If you don't have 2 notches or your springs are different colours, then 1 heavy spring is good. We're going to keep our foot bar down for this, and you're also going to get your box and pop that just underneath your foot bar. My reformer isn't ideal for this, to be honest. Ideally, the foot bar would be out of the way, but yeah. We'll make do with it. We'll do the best we can with what we've got. And you are going to come into a standing position on your carriage. So your left foot is going to be on the platform. Your right foot is going to be on that first third of the carriage. And we're going to have a slight rotation through the feet. And then you're standing up nice and tall. Hands are coming to the hips, thinking about scooping in through our core, tucking our tailbone underneath, taking an inhale. And then exhale, you're going to push away off that right foot, putting the weight into the left foot, and then keeping both of the legs straight. Now we're going to take an inhale to return back to that stopper. So using your breath to get you out, and then controlling it on the way back in. So we're working through this eccentric and concentric motion as we push away and return back in. So really, really crucial to think about the control and working through those muscles on the outside of our legs and our glutes. Let's do 3 more like this. And last 2, good. And then last 1. Now I want you to hold it out this time in that static hold for me for 6 and 5 and 4. Last 3 and 2. Last 1. Draw it all the way in, and now we're going to add that skating single leg on the right hand side. So we exhale, push away, and then just bringing that leg in slightly on the carriage and pushing it out. 3 more. Last 2, you should really feel this in your glutes. And last 1. Then we come all the way back in. Now we're going to add on another layer now. So we're going to inhale. Exhale, we push away. Inhale, draw that carriage back in. And then I want you to squat it down. So thinking about sitting nice and low in that chair. And then we exhale, push away, squat it down. So just working through these standing side splits and that squat for me. 3 more, making sure to squeeze those glutes on the way back up. And last 2. And last 1, good. Push it out. and then draw it in. Now we've got one more thing to add on, so we're going to bring that right foot behind us, step it back into this curtsy lunge, and then push away into that skating single leg. Squat it down, and then push away, and 3, good. Squat down. My reformer makes a real racket. Remembering to control it on the way in. We squat, curtsy back, and last one. Okay, now we're just going to work through that squat and that curtsy. And 2, good. And 3. Nice work, guys. 3 more. And last 2. And last one. Now let's just do some little pulses here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then pulse those curtsies out for me. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And then let's just come down onto our knees on that carriage and just take a nice stretch back. Hold it here. Whew. And then draw it all the way back into that stopper. Okay, so we are now going to do some short lever work, which is actually going to be easier than your standing leg work. So for this, you can come onto one light spring. So for me, that's a yellow. Or if you really want to challenge yourself, you can do this on no springs at all. So I'm going to bring one knee onto that platform. Your other knee comes onto that first third of the carriage. We sit up nice and tall. The feet are just hanging off the back of the carriage there. Think about tucking in that tailbone, lifting through our pelvic core, and staying nice and central through our hips and our glutes, okay? So we inhale, and then exhale, we push out on that leg that's on the carriage, and then inhale, draw it all the way back in for 2. Good. And 3. We've got 3 more. And last 2. And then last one, and then hold it out in that static hold for me for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we come all the way back in. Okay, now we're going to add in that final layer, which is just that little skater on that right leg. Let's do 4 more, and last 3, and 2, good. Last one, draw it all the way back in. Now we can add in some side bends to this if you want to. Find some nice stretches through the side of the body. 1 more each way. So as that right hand comes up overhead, our gaze goes over to the right, and then same thing with the left. And then just coming kneeling on that platform and taking a nice stretch back. Do a bit more work through our core now. So for this one, you are going to come onto 1 yellow as your base option, or 1 blue if you're going to challenge yourself a little bit. And then we're going to come kneeling on the platform, facing those risers. Make sure your foot bar is still down. Your knees are at hip width distance apart. And then we're bringing our hands out onto this first third of the platform. Just going to put this foot bar down a little bit more because it's still in the way a little bit. Okay. So find that nice setup position. We're going to take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, we're going to glide into that plank position. So what we're aiming for here, guys, is for our wrists to stay directly over our shoulders, switched on through our core, And then as you inhale, the hips come back. So exhale, we glide forward. Those hips can come down, switching the core on. It's really easy for our backs to kind of arch here. So we really need to make sure that we're nice and lifted through that core. Inhale, come back in. And then exhale, push away, hips come down, keeping the wrists over the shoulders, keeping those cores switched on, working through those glutes. Keep going with this for 3, 4. Scooping up strong core, guys. And last 2. Draw all the way in. And then last 1. Okay. And then just take a little stretch back. Just grab a hold of the sides of the carriage and just come back into this child's pose position and take a breath here. Now we're going to add on to this a little bit. So we're going to move into our wheelbarrows now. So you come back up into that kneeling position, bringing the knees together now. The hands are in line with the shoulders. This is our setup position. A little bit of tension on the carriage already. So we're pushing away a tiny bit, really scooping up through our core now. Inhale, exhale, come into that half plank. And then when you're in that half plank, we're going to work through our arms a little bit more. So just bringing those arms forward, really switching on those cores for me. And then inhale, come all the way back to the stopper. Exhale, half plank. And then just continue gliding those hands forward towards those risers. Oh, you should really feel it through your core, guys. And then come all the way back. Exhale, push away, half plank, hips come down. And then we push into that wheelbarrow for 3. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, we prepare. Exhale, half plank. And then those arms extend out. Last 2. Exhale, plank. Glide those arms forward. And then bring it all the way back in. Last 1. And then push away. And then I just want us to move into some little pulses if we can. If you want some extra. 3. You can keep in a static hold, or you can just be resting at the stopper, whatever works for you here. And then draw it all the way back to that stopper. Taking a hold of the sides of those carriage, knees coming onto the platform, and just taking a nice stretch. Always my most favourite part of the class. Okay, now we're going to do that leg work on the other side. So again, coming onto 1 thread spring on the top row of notches, if you have them, or if not, just 1 heavy spring. And then, sorry, I'm going to be facing back with my back to you, but just bear with me. Let me just make sure that you can see me here. 1 foot comes onto the platform, other foot comes onto the carriage, and then we add that rotation through the foot and think about standing up nice and tall as though we've got a piece of string pulling our head towards the ceiling. Taking an inhale, and then exhale, we push away into that standing side split. So working eccentrically to push away, and then concentrically to control it back in. So working through those muscles on our outer legs this time, guys. Let's do 2 more. Drawing it all the way in. And last 1. And hold it out this time for 6 and 5. Last 4 and 3. Last 2 and 1. Drawing it all the way in. And then we've just got that final layer now, which is that skating single leg. So nice inhale. Exhale, push away. And then skate it in. And then we've just got that final layer now, which is that skating single leg. So taking an inhale, exhale, push it out. and then skate that leg that's on the carriage in and out for 3 and 4. Last 2 and last 1. Draw it all the way in. Now we add that squat. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, push away. Draw it all the way back in. And then we sit low into that squat. And then we push it out as you exhale. Inhale, draw it in. Squat it back. And 3, good. Squat back. 2 more. And last 1. Good job. And now we're working through 3 layers. So we're also adding in that curtsy. So curtsy over onto that foot bar. Push it away. Squat down. Curtsy away. And 3. Last 2 like this. And last 1, guys. Control it back in. And then let's just work through that squat and that curtsy for 2 and 3. Really burn these legs off. We've got 3 more. And last 2. Last 1. And then let's pulse it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming up, coming into that curtsy and pulse it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3. Last 2 and 1. Good job. And then let's just stretch it back. Finding that nice stretch. Taking a breath. And then let's draw it all the way. So last little bit of work, we are going to come on to 1 medium spring now. So for me, that's 1 blue. I'm going to do 1 blue on the top row of notches. So yeah, just whatever that looks like on your reformer. And then we're going to come into the seated position facing the tower or facing the risers if you don't have a tower on your reformer. And then just grabbing a hold of those straps for me, just a lot more elegantly than I did there. And then we're coming into holding the straps at this kind of knot bit that's just above the long and the short straps. And then just bring the straps out to the side of the carriage so they don't get in the way. So we're sitting up nice and tall here, taking a nice deep breath in. And then exhale. And as you exhale, think about like creating the C curve through the spine. And then as you continue to exhale, pushing back, pulling back on those straps and hinging our body back. We should start to feel the abs kick in. Hold it there. And then exhale. Start to let those straps come back to that same start position. And then we return to that nice flat back. Let's go again. Inhale. Exhale, round through that spine. Pull back on those straps. And then hold it here. Exhale, we roll up. This probably doesn't feel like a lot, but we are going to add on, so just bear with me. So inhale. Exhale, we come back. Hold it there. And then we roll up. We've got 3 more like this. So inhale. Exhale, pulling back. Good job. Feeling those abs kick in like a little clutch. You'll feel your abs start to shake. Exhale, roll it out. Last one like this. Inhale. Exhale, roll back. Find those abs. Hold it there. And then rolling out of it. Okay, so we're going to add on a little layer now. So come into the short straps if that feels good for you. And then we want to wiggle ourselves back so we've got a bit more kind of tension on those straps, I guess. so the straps aren't like hanging forward. And then just cross the feet on top of one another, taking a nice deep breath here. Exhale, find that C shape, and then start to bring the spine back, lying down until you're feeling those abs kick in, and then you're going to bring those straps up to the shoulders. So we're starting to work through our biceps as well now, and then return to that start position. So inhale, prepare, exhale, round through the spine, start to bring the spine back until you feel your abs kicking in, and then those straps come up to the shoulders. We bring those straps back, and then we lift up for 3. Nice job. And let's do 3 more, and then we're going to add on our last little layer. Last 2. Nice. Return, last 1. And I just want you to hold it here. Static hold for 6, and 5, and 4, and 3. Last 2, and 1. And then the biceps, the straps come back, and then you come up to those shoulders. So just working through the biceps now. 3. Let's do 3 more. And last 2. Good job, guys. And last 1. And then let's bring you up out of it. Just bring your hands over those feet for a second. Find a nice stretch. We've got 1 more layer. Okay, so let's return back to that start position. Find that nice flat back. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, round through the spine. Start to bring those straps back. Come up to the biceps. And now let's bring those straps up overhead. And then circle those arms around. And then as the straps return to that start position, we lift up. Okay, let's go again. Exhale. Come into that bicep curl. Lifting those straps up overhead. Circle it around. And then we lift up. Good. 2 more. Really using your breath here, guys, to help you with the movement. So inhale, prepare. Exhale. Inhale, straps come up overhead. Exhale as you circle around, and then inhale to come back up. We're just going to finish off with a nice stretch. So coming onto 1 red spring for me, or 1 heavy spring. I'm on 1 red on the top row of notches, and then that foot bar is going to come back up, not completely up, but about 2/3 of the way up. And then we just come to this kneeling position on our reformer. Hands are at shoulder width, and then that left foot is going to come up in between your hands, and we bring that knee as far forward as we can over the foot bar. Thumbs are tucked underneath you, taking an inhale to prepare. Exhale, we're pushing back, and then we're just trying to get that front leg nice and straight. So until you feel that stretch, when you've got the stretch, I want you to hold it here for 3 breaths. Let's do 2 more. Good. And last 1. And then drawing it all the way back in. Left foot comes onto the carriage. Right foot comes in between the hands. Bring that knee forward over the foot bar. Inhale. Exhale, push back. Straighten out that front leg. Hold it here for 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 2 more. And last 1. Good. And then draw it all the way back in. And you are done. I hope that you enjoyed it. Sorry it's not perfect, but it never is, guys. And we don't have to be perfect. We just have to show up and give things a go. And yeah, you will get better with time and consistency. So I hope you like this workout. And yeah, please subscribe and let me know what else you would like to see.